Yes. Here we are. Mike Ulichny, Executive Vice President of Global Services or Global something. What is
The
it?
galactic
The
owner
galactic
of delivery for Neudesic.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, it sounds made up, but
It is.
fine.
It works.
What do you actually do at Neudesic?
Just I head up consulting for Neudesic. So
that's right.
all the operations come underneath me from a global standpoint.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just thought you were my roommate.
that too.
Well, we're here. We're going to be talking about AI and the value of AI, how it generates us money, right?
Yeah.
So the first question, I'm going to go through some questions for you so it makes it easier on you. I don't want to make your life any harder than it is.
It's so tough already.
It is. So from your perspective, can AI generate significant revenue for businesses right now, or is it more of a long-term investment?
Yeah. So we have seen here at Neudesic already revenue generation. And honestly, so we've been dealing with AI for well over a decade. The first project that we had here where we worked with, and the connotation of what AI is will be an argument for other podcasters. But well over a decade ago, we've been working with utilities back when we needed to work on making the grid smarter.
All right.
And so we had machine learning. So an example of that was the customers, they needed to forecast what was going to happen with weather. And it was everything from the temperature outside and use of air conditioning to the amount of cloud cover that would reduce energy to the solar panels and all of those things put together. And then also adoption of electric cars. So we had to forecast demand for energy on an hourly basis, which required a pretty elaborate data science setup that we did a solution for at that time, Salt River Project, one of the large utilities here in Arizona. Those models that we put together, we would put together a data science model, and it would predict forecast according to the particular data that we had. But then where the machine learning came in is, every time it was wrong, it would find out where the variables were wrong, where we read the weather patterns wrong, where we found out adoption was different, and it would change the particular data science model. And that was the learning part of it. So it was machine learning. And that was a really good form, and we thought we were the coolest people in the room at that time when it came to AI. And we expanded on that and certainly got more scientific and got better, and we took it on to us forecasting for airlines or us forecasting for retail companies. And then customer sentiment analysis and predicting how someone was going to work inside of a casino. All these things happened, and machine learning we were really good at it. And then OpenAI came around, and the language models came around, and it basically made us look like dopes. So it really, everything changed once OpenAI came in, and their models were a million times better than what could be found out there. They had the backing of enormous amounts of compute power, and everything changed. And now these models are changing the way that we work. So what we would take as, hey, for 6 months we can come in and we can do projects that'll make you lots of money. We ended up saving literally, hundreds of millions, and the industry as a whole saved billions on the smart grid through data science and machine learning. But now, in a matter of minutes, you can do kind of what we did there with AI and the tools that are available now. So yes, you can drastically increase revenue, either figuring out how to interact with customers, how to offer better products, or how to have an even smarter grid because of where AI is at right now.
Yeah, and it comes quicker than a few years down the road, right?
Yeah,
it sounds like the ML version of that had to probably work through things before you'd see a return.
So there was no open AI out there at the time. So all of us were creating our own models. There were standard models for forecasting, and there were standard ways of figuring out when there was going to be basket analysis. If somebody buys tissue, make sure and give them an ad for this,
but it's highly dependent on you inputting it,
and
like it doesn't know anything beyond that. At least with AI, it can almost get its intelligence from a social kind of way.
That's really well
versus-
said. Yeah, this model that they've gotten together, and now they've got competing models with Google and at some point Tesla.
Yeah.
But these models are so far past what we were doing individually, and took us a long time. We had to set up the compute. We had to set up the models, and now it's all done in one step because of what's out there. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity now.
It's pretty cool, and it's not just for utilities. I mean, you have this stuff going on with retail. You got it going on with logistics.
Yeah,
and
well,
all
I mean,
these different things.
we were looking at now, as we had mentioned before, sentiment analysis. It used to be that after somebody left your hotel or your theme park or your casino, you would say, "How was your trip?" Now you've got so much that you can put into this analysis in AI. You can predict whether or not they're going to have a good time.
I mean, from the standpoint of the client, that sounds very appealing, right? You get in these almost immediate returns. Now, from us implementing that particular solution, how much does it benefit us as far as a client or a consultancy and delivery of technology?
Yeah, and that's the thing that we try and educate our customers on is OpenAI is amazing. Everyone can go on to ChatGPT and be amazed that you can ask it a question and it'll give you an answer in human form and in our language. But that's not where we're going to drive additional revenue. And really, what educating them is you've got to start with a business problem.
Yeah.
You got to start with why. This is what you train your people on in IDX. You've got to start with the business problem, and then cater what you want AI to do to solve that business problem.
Yeah.
A lot of what our customers are doing is just saying, "Hey, I want AI, do something."
Right.
And that's fun. I tell you, we do some really cool stuff. But the real value, if you want to drive increased revenue, decrease cost, or increase customer sentiment, anything like that, you have to start with the business problem.
Absolutely. And there's certain business problems that we know and certain ones that we don't know at that point in time. A lot of times we've been using AI for kind of almost discovery of business problems. Like we don't know what we don't know. So sometimes AI will uncover certain things, or it knows, we couldn't possibly manually know what everybody has been talking about in the world at once, right? Like we don't have enough time in the day to read, to do all that stuff, to make an informed or even intelligent decision.
And Hal did that for us.
Yeah,
so we're just going to
Hal
ask
did
him.
it for us. Right. I'm surprised nobody called something Hal. I don't know if it's
I think it's
licensed.
just a matter of minutes before something is named Hal.
Oh my goodness. But like what I do a lot of times is that I try to ask it questions just like I would ask you or ask somebody, and it starts building, right? Like I start learning more and more because it's allowing me to uncover everybody's sentiment in the world that's ever written on something, ever written about this particular topic. Now, some of it's kind of not so great, and some of it's very informative, like I didn't know. And then, but that, I don't know if I'll take it for a grain of salt at that point. Like I'm not going to go run with it, but I'm going to go, that's interesting. And I'm going to dive into that more. Now it focuses my work on something that I can, read about, in very specifically, I could see, in that. So if we're talking about some sort of a process of which we're going to roadmap out business problems or maybe as a consultancy uncover business problems for a company, they're obviously going to have their own pain points that they're going to bring to the table. I think a lot of times Neudesic isn't known for, but does do pretty well this activity of uncovering more meat around that business problem, or around maybe business problems that wrap that other business problem that they're having that actually it actually affects the one that they're really having a pain point on,
Yeah, they bring a problem to us and they say, "Hey, our sales are down, fix it."
Yeah, exactly.
And we say, "Well, okay, we looked at it and we did some discovery, and it wasn't sales; it's actually the issue."
Yeah, so
it's just communication during your supply chain.
Yeah, and I think when people think about, I don't make any money on AI, right? Like as an implementer of the AI bot,
yeah.
right, or the AI instance. But what you do is you're moving a little bit left that work up front, right? Like you're not, it's like push a button, install AI, right? Or it's not that easy, obviously, but like
2 buttons.
It's 2 buttons in a sequence. I think people probably go, well, that's the be all end all. I don't have anything to do now. I'm a developer. It's doing everything for me now. Like I can't even charge much for this.
Yeah, and that's going to be the fun part. Is right now everyone's looking at the jobs it's going to take away, not the jobs it's going to create.
Right.
There are certainly jobs that are going to be taken away.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be fun. That's going to be something that we're going to have to work through. But the jobs it will create are the people like you we just talked about that are going to have to figure out, how it is that we take that information and actually make it better.
Mm-hmm.
So we've worked with legal companies. They've got they do a analysis of somebody that wants to sue somebody or get a divorce or something along those lines, and they put together their bullet points of action items and their notes, and then they go into one of our customers, LexisNexis, has all of the legal documents, like in the history of legal documents, and you can search through there and figure out what are going to be the things that you're going to fight for in the case. What are you going to do to try and win the case? Well, now you can run it through OpenAI and say, okay, here's my notes from my interview. How should I attack this case, and how much money will I make when I sue this size company? And it'll come back, and that's something that's available now.
Yeah, it's
which
crazy.
is crazy. And you'd say, okay, well, what used to take a paralegal, 160 hours of somebody who was paid, $200,000 a year, will now take ChatGPT about 35 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, the loss. But now that paralegal doesn't go away, because what comes back from ChatGPT is not going to be usable immediately. There's still the work of analyzing that and having your flavor that makes your law firm differently. So you need 1 paralegal instead of 4.
Right.
But you still need that human touch, and you will for at least another 20 years.
And you may even need that paralegal, those 4 other or 3 other paralegals, to help continuously train the bots. Now, sooner or later, that's going to not be as needed.
I think that the prompt engineers, the question people.
Yeah. What a job.
Yeah. We're going to need special sauce for our AIs, but it's really going to be the implementation of it. So it wasn't as much the person who says, hey, the paralegal's gone. It's going to be, okay, how do we market this to the people that want to do the lawsuits?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do we get this to go faster and have a mobile app that compares with it? The best story that you ever told me was the customer comes in and they said, hey, I need a button that brings up this report. And you said, why? And they said, well, I need this report in order for me to know if I have to reduce this level of salesman. And you said, well, how about when it hits this number, it automatically reduces it? And the person's like, that's a great idea. That will never go away.
Right.
And that's really where the jobs come from, is using AI to actually be effective.
Yeah, as long as there's humans involved, the job of user experience and process analysis won't really go away too much.
As long as the customer is human.
It'd be human. Yeah, that would be the part.
When we go computer, they might just push us out.
Yeah, then I get to draw more.
We're-
Something, I don't know.
I want to be a cat. just be one of their pets.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just get it drinks of oil.
Yeah.
Here's some oil. It's like in the Jetsons or something. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think we need to, I think the message here is making money off of AI, making money as a consultancy, that is a problematic, or it could be a good thing, for us. We just have to shift our way of thinking a little bit more, instead of implementing the widgets and the ones and zeros so much, but to be able to be more into truly the consultancy of strategy, and making sure that it's doing what it needs to do for the business.
Yeah, and consulting, we say, hey, it's going to be 30 hours to build you this mobile app, and now because of AI, it's going to take us 5. We're making less money, but they're the consulting companies that thrive are the ones that are going to say, hey, not only am I going to do this for 5 hours, but if you really want to sell more cars, you should use AI to decrease the time on an assembly line.
Yeah.
And here's how we can do it. We have to change who we are. The
Yeah.
nice thing is we have been,
Yep.
and it's so early. Nobody really knows how AI is going to make them money.
Absolutely.
Because all of us are learning by the second.
Yeah, and you get one governmental change of
I think stop everything.
policy, and then it's like all goes away. Yeah, who knows? That is a risk. There is a risk there.
Yeah,
in some ways.
Certainly
Yeah.
global politics or something that I don't take into account at my level,
Yeah.
but I think there's always the risk.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's talk about how are companies balancing the high upfront costs of AI implementation with the need to show short-term profits to stakeholders. I mean, is it high? I don't know.
Well, the funny thing is, it's the shareholders come in and they're so high level, and honestly, they have no idea what they're doing. So they come in at a very high level and they say, hey, use AI. They were at the they're out at the country club.
It's like a badge.
And
AI.
and
This
Bob,
is AI.
Bob said I used AI, and then Sarah's like, dude, I want to be able to tell everyone I do AI. I don't want to be the one person that doesn't have AI. So the shareholders are like, what are you doing with AI? And then we get people at the VP level and useless people like me that then go down and say, hey, what are you doing with AI? And they don't know what that is, but and then they just say, do something with AI.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is there are companies out there, Microsoft, Oracle, Google, that have AI tools that are very easy. Microsoft's ahead of everybody. Yeah. You can immediately, with your teams, at the end of a meeting, using AI, it compiles notes, it assigns action items. That takes us a week to implement.
Yeah.
We just turn on some buttons and set up some governance and all of these tools. So the upfront cost is very small for that type of stuff. So you can have those upfront ones, but the ones that are going to set you aside or set a differentiator between you and your competitors, those are the ones that have more cost. And really, it's back on solving the business problems.
Yeah.
If they're quick and dirty, they can use AI for something that's value. But if they really want to be different and set themselves apart, solve the business problem. And there is some upfront cost because you're going to discover what is the business problem and what is a different way of using AI to make money.
Right. It's our creativity. It's different than time and materials at that point. Like you're consulting now for your expertise and how you interpret this problem. I think
we've always been the smartest technologists.
That's awesome.
From the beginning, Neudesic is
even me.
Yeah, even you.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
We've been the super nerds.
Yeah.
But the nerds have to change, and we're doing a good job of that. Your team leading it is actually saying, hey, why?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to solve this problem? And then the how. Yeah. And that's where we really come in, is saying, hey, here are all the different AI tools you can use.
In the sense you're mentioning my team, it's the IDX and design,
yeah,
or the IDX
you built it.
Innovation design and team.
I'll give it to somebody else.
That's cool. Along with I think that combined with the business experience or business transformation teams, that we have, being able to decipher data into business value is super valuable. I think technologists are waiting for that. They're looking for direction, and if my team and the BXS team at Neudesic are able to put it together and create a good roadmap and a good why, we're able to blast through development way faster.
That's always been the case.
Yeah.
Even more so for AI, though. You're right.
Yeah. It's a setup fee. Like you have a setup fee here, right? Yeah. You can't just slap the badge on it and turn the lights
people
on.
That do fail.
Yeah, exactly.
We know this from 15 years of consulting.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we're able to make the case that if we're able to do that work, we're able to implement at a faster rate of speed. Our confidence levels are higher on what we've just decided to do.
Adoption is through
the
roof.
adoption will go up, and also your quality will go up. Right? We're not fishing in real time, or we're not building in real time where we're like, well, maybe I'll just put this in there and see what happens. We don't have enough time for that. That's a very lean way, and I think a lot of startups will approach it similarly like that because they don't they may be afraid to invest a lot of money before they see something.
Startups, which I'm very jealous of,
Yeah.
are nimble. The large corporations we're working
Yeah.
with aren't nearly as nimble. They can't fail on a second by second. You can have somebody
Where the
staying up
risk
all night
levels might
coding.
be going up.
They can take bigger chances
Yeah.
because they don't have a large company that could be sued. You know, it's all sorts
Right,
of things.
right, and they have a little bit more money to play around with. However, we don't want to just burn money for the sake of doing that.
It doesn't create a good partnership.
No, so exactly. So looking ahead, maybe 5 to 10 years, which industries do you think will benefit the most from
do you-
AI?
do
I
you
mean, they're
remember-
doing it now, so it's not even 5, 10 years. We're literally on top of it.
But what we're seeing in 5 to 10 years, man, we have no idea what it's going to be. But,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things. I remember it was 7 years ago, and I think you heard it too. Parsa, our founder of our company, was talking about the fact that the largest employer in the United States is driving. People who drive.
Yeah,
They drive dump trucks. They drive
outside of the government.
yeah, including the government. Yeah.
Oh, good.
They drive dump trucks.
Mm-hmm.
They drive semi trucks. They drive everything. That will go autonomous.
Yeah.
I think in the next 10 years.
Not in Boston. I have no idea how anybody will do that, but maybe.
Yeah, but I think cars will go autonomous. So that's a shift that's going to get rid of a ton of our employees, and they're going to have to find other work because you're not going to need someone to drive semis.
Yeah.
Cars are going to be reduced as where economies of scale, we're sharing vehicles, things like that. That's just one example of an industry I think that might have the biggest effect.
Yeah, I
But,
can see that.
They're every other industry. I mean, at some point, shopping, travel, everything, romance.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that just marry computers. Yeah, I think that I will still frustrate her. But
You will. I mean, I can
it'll be out
see.
there.
I can see. So even autonomous cars and trucks all depend on our version of what it is today. What's a truck?
Yeah.
What's this? What's that? Right? Like it's a completely different. It's kind of like when they first started making biped robots or dog robots.
Uh-huh.
They designed it how they basically biomimicred the robot, the dog, right? But why do you have to do that? Like, why do you need to create something that looks like something that's living today or something that mimics something today?
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't it be a big box that's set on a track that basically pulls? I mean, you got a train, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about trains much? Autonomous trains or just these more beefed up ability, these beefed up, package movers.
Yeah, package.
You
movers.
know,
they're going to change.
They're not
a ton.
trucks. They're it's
Yeah.
like these weird things that don't even run on like the street.
Yeah.
They run parallel to the
Yeah.
street. Maybe.
Or deliveries like Bezos through.
Who knows? Right.
Yeah.
That's where
Helicopters.
exponentially, I think, where we have been in technology just when we were kids, we didn't have cell phones. We barely had real phones. Like barely had color TV.
Dude, I remember the first TV didn't have a channel changer. I remember being excited.
Absolutely.
For the first
that
channel changer. Yeah.
The UHF.
Having to get
VHF.
up off the
Yeah.
couch as a 7-year-old was,
Yeah.
was
Well,
a
my
lot of
dad,
energy.
I was the remote,
Yeah,
really,
right.
in all honesty. He's like, go change it. Which 4 channels would you like? But
And
but it
and
is
our
inter-
parents didn't have TVs.
Now we have a TV in a bathroom. It's
In my pocket every
yeah,
second
exactly.
of the day.
Yeah, like you carry it around with it. I put my phone in the shower. I literally watch stuff while I'm taking a shower. I have a problem, but that's who would have thought that? Just 20 years, 50,
The
just 40
speed
years
of
ago.
innovation. You said 5 to 10 years where things are going to be. Dude,
It's ridiculous.
I have no idea.
It's 10-fold, 100-fold.
It's crazy.
The amount of things you can do, the amount of things we were able to do within the last 10 years, it's just blown up.
Yeah.
So think about how fast it would go even further down the road. I don't even think we can comprehend what that means
No.
without blowing up
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. That's the only.
That's my only fear. It goes too fast that we just combust into nowhere. But I don't know. It's interesting to think about where AI could be. I mean, AI is AI now. I think AI tomorrow is unfathomable.
Yeah. Dude, I got a call from my mom last night and to help her with her iPhone. And she's like, when do I
See, you always need that.
Yeah, and she's and you're explaining these things, and I'm like, I wonder what type of conversations I will have with my kid where I'm like, I don't want to use the teleporter. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe he never had a teleporter. You know.
Dad.
Yeah.
Why are we using what are these called?
Yeah.
They're called legs.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you want to watch the robot baseball game tonight?
That's exactly what it's going to be.
That guy's really strong. You can jack those things out to like Ohio. No, I think we're coming up to it, but let's have one more question that we can talk about and have fun with.
I want to get cut off like right in the middle of the question.
That would be so great. Yeah. So what do you think? Let me see. What should businesses be doing today to ensure they're ready for a profit of AI in the future?
Yeah, so that's a fun one. So obviously, like I mentioned, start with the business problem.
Yeah.
But that's where we really come in handy.
Yeah.
Is also know the capabilities. The reason that most people come to us is because they're concentrated on their business problem.
Yeah.
Logistics or retail or healthcare.
Yeah.
They're handling all of that. They don't know how AI can be utilized. They don't know how it can integrate with their customer relationship management system.
Yeah.
They don't know how it can. So
Is it a fear thing? Is it a ignorant thing or a feared thing? Or is it like, I'm just waiting and seeing? I think if you're not in it now, you're done.
I think you need to be thinking about it, but the nice thing is like AI allows you to catch up quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
So your competitor might have started using AI to communicate with customers to solve their problems, but you come in after it and you do it better, and you can still implement it pretty fast, so you can catch up.
Yeah.
In the past, the infrastructure things cost so much, it was a lot harder to catch up.
Yeah, my only fear, like I said before, it would be a policy change that killed any momentum going forward. Although that's not a fear too much as far as
because if we fall behind,
yeah,
we have global adversaries, in
right.
China or Russia,
See,
that are not going to.
Right.
So
yeah, it's not just our policy; it's everybody's
yeah,
policy.
I think as bad as governments are in just terms of poor management, this is one where the government is not going to get behind on AI.
Right.
It's such a huge tactical piece that they need to their arsenal.
I mean, there's an ethical part too. I think that
You're getting out of my realm now.
I mean, to me, that would be the thing that kills it. Unethical behavior, right? So, and it always has with everything we do.
The bad guys are going to figure out. You're always trying to stay ahead of them, or at least catch up fast enough. They don't do too much harm.
Yeah.
What they're going to do with AI is going to be.
It's the
really
trainer
bad.
that I'm worried about. It's the person that is thinking that, okay, how do I get now? This is a huge platform, and I'm able to just interject anything that I think, and it'll go out there and start spewing it out.
We had a guy that when I used to build the system that ran slot machines.
Yeah.
I got in a piece of his code that allowed him to win. It was on Keno. And so he stole a bunch of money by putting in his code that allowed him to win at Keno when he went into the casinos.
Oh my gosh.
I imagine that for AI. What if you're able to go into AI and make it so Bob is always the coolest guy on the internet or something like that?
Who's the coolest guy?
That's
Alexa. Bob.
Do you beep that out?
I can beep it out.
Oh damn it!
I'll beep that out.
All right.
Keep
Fine.
going. God, you're making me hard. No. Keep doing this. Beep, 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 beep. I actually have a beep button somewhere on here, but I don't know if it really
That's
works.
the coolest thing I've ever seen.
So, I mean, like, I think this is a conversation could go forever, and I definitely want to. So I definitely want to do like an uncensored version of this.
Yeah, we're bringing in the alcohol next
Yeah,
time.
we're starting to get
yes.
it together. This, and even this might be something I can only really show in Neudesic. I don't know. Well, we might have to, yeah. But I think what we're trying to get to is we are a consultancy
I
that
just realized you have it between two ferns.
it's between two ficuses.
Oh, are they ficus? You gonna fern me?
You're the only one that's thought that.
Don't you two fern me?
I was trying to see how long do I have these two ficuses sitting here before somebody brings that up. He didn't have lights on his ferns, though. I have lights.
Just waiting for a two fern question. Like, how did you get so far having so little talent?
Yeah. Okay. No. I think what we're trying to get at is that we are in that cutting edge groove of AI. We're doing it for our customers. It definitely takes a different way of thinking about it. It isn't necessarily a technology first thing, even though you have a lens that says, this is technology. How do we use it? The problem with it is that it's so vast. It has no specific application that you actually have to back up and go, okay, what kind of application would I actually use this for? And what kind of output would it have?
It might be the best synopsis I've ever heard of where we're at with AI right now. Very well done.
Thank you. That will be a clip.
Yes. That's all you need right there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Matthew Schafman.
This was awesome.
Thank you.
You might be the most fun person to talk to.
You're the most fun. You're the best roommate ever.
Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you later.
I think so.
Bye.